following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
This isn't just a game. This is iRacing. Alright, so we had to let the rain go through, I guess, right? Virtually. After a little bit of issue with iRacing and having some server issues, we are up and ready to go. And we are ready to crown a champion tonight in GLSR's Downrange Transports Premier Series here on the Captain Esports Network as we welcome you into Homestead-Miami Speedway, where 4 drivers tonight will run for 250 miles for a championship. Others are going to be out here just to spoil the party and go to victory lane here tonight as we get ready to go racing here from South Florida. A very abbreviated pre-race show here. As obviously the rain's gone through, these cars are getting a few laps of practice just to make sure everything's ready to go. And then they're going to go racing in the longest race of the season. 250 miles, 167 laps. And we'll crown a champion between one of 4 drivers here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Again, hopefully you're having a great Wednesday evening here as we get the one race this week that we get to broadcast live. Of course, we were here Sunday. Now we're back tonight. And then after this, we're not back again until next Thursday with the 4th of July holiday coming up here in literally less than, 5 hours? 3 hours. I don't know how to do math. 3 hours as it's coming up here. And we're ready to go. Qualifying is going to come up here very shortly, as a matter of fact, and we will go racing. We were hoping to get a word with the 4 playoff drivers here beforehand, but I wanted to make sure everything was set up and square, ready to go here from the race, and we'll get the qualifying in here in a moment as we will do hot laps presented by Sammy B and, of course, his graphic company that has slipped my mind. Spicy Schemes, there it is. And go from there. So stand by here for just a second, and we'll get you ready for qualifying momentarily. All right, here we go. So qualifying underway. And, of course, thanks to Spicy Schemes, as they have been sponsoring all season long. It's our chance right now to see not only who's going to get the $5 tonight for winning the poll, but who is going to be the overall winner. And we'll get that free paint scheme from Spicy Schemes to use down the road for being the pole-sitting champion, the fastest car, if you will, of the series. As the cars are out there on track, I would look for the fast guys to probably go sometimes towards the end of this qualifying session, but we see Lucas Strayer out there on track right now. Let's head out there and see the 41 car. Of course, the spoiler diecast grit number 41 car as he is out on track. This 1.5 mile progressive banked oval, 18 to 20 degrees. You're going to see cars all the way from the bottom to the top of this track. Tires going to be wearing out. We're going to see so much magic at this track and see why it's going to be so much fun to watch here. Coming up momentarily, as you see Strayer fighting that car as he works his way down the back straightaway. Had a great run in this series last season here. Was a threat to win the race before Stephen Miles eventually pulled away and won the championship. Miles trying to become one of the first ever in this series history to win back-to-back championships, as Brandon Maciejewski, first one to put a lap up. Dalton, Strayer, Simonson, 33.10 for Maciejewski, the pole. Make that 33.11. And right now, unless Jason Dalton wins the pole here tonight, Johnathan Tuckness will be the pole champion of the series. We'll have to see how it goes. As Maciejewski goes 32.9 on his lap. So he's on the pole right now. Jason Dalton just missed the pole. 32.92 with a 6. Basically just missed it by 4/100ths. And with him qualifying P2, that officially will give Johnathan Tuckness the win of the Spicy Schemes Hot Laps this season. So he'll get the paint scheme from Sammy B. So congratulations to Johnathan Tuckness. His 3 poles actually tied with Justin Michael, but we have not seen Justin Michael since like April. So unfortunate there. Joey Landisor, you see right now, P6. You see Thornton jump up there to P5 on his lap. And now the guys that are in the playoffs really starting to make their moves out here. Let's take a look. Alex Brison, the 38 car, the winner just a couple weeks ago at Darlington, looking to put his spot on the front row. Of course, last season, falling just short of the championship as he works his way to turn 1. Stephen Miles on track at a 24. You will notice the 4 cars tonight on the timing and scoring. Once I put that up, we'll have gold numbers. The guys racing for the championship will have gold numbers tonight, so just look for that. As Brison down the back straightaway. Gonna go right down to that white line pretty much. That 18 degrees of banking in the progressive. Let the car float all the way out to the outside wall. We'll see if any of them can knock Brandon off the pole. Lap 1 should be more of a throwaway lap, as Brison 33.23. Let's check Stephen Miles, his lap 33.27. How about Johnathan Tuckness, who has had all types of struggles in the playoffs? Went out there, won the most races this season, or was one of the most races this season. And he goes 33.20 on lap 1. So here comes Brison. He'll cross the line. Miles in the purple right now. Brison goes P7, 33.12. Miles across the line. P4, 32.96. And let's see what Tuckness does. Fontaine P12, by the way, 33.25. As Tuckness went purple last second. No, 6, 32.98. So you're in the fastest second sector. So Brandon Maciejewski going to win the pole by 1/1000th of a second over Diego Sainz in a very tight qualifying. Look at the top 3 within 4/1000ths of a second as qualifying ends. And we're going to get ready for the championship race here. 250 miles coming up. And a big shout out to Spicy Schemes, of course, for sponsoring the Hot Laps. But first, let's go trackside for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. state us that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, one last time we grid for season number 3 of this GLSR Downrange Transport Premier Series finale. And a big shout out to Downrange Transport tonight, going to be their final race as the premier sponsor. It was announced earlier today that Mr. Radiator going to come on board season 4 as the main sponsor. So congratulations to Joey Lottasaur and the guys there as we take a look at the starting lineup here from Homestead, not Atlanta. Anyways, Brandon Maciejewski on the pole. He'll start alongside Diego Sainz. Even I'm having issues. Jason Dalton, Stephen Miles there in row number 2. Row 3, Brandon Alphin and Johnathan Tuckness. Row 4, Lucas Stringer, Jacob Thornton, Alex Brison, and Dylan Rosenberg, who has had a couple good runs, looking to break out maybe potentially here tonight. Joey Lottasaur, Sam Fontaine there, row number 6. We take a look at the rest of the lineup. Row 7, Tyler Pluff, Cam Ingram, Dalton Carter, Richard Midkiff, Josh Gagnon, Luke Simonson, Blaine Sparling, Tyler Brewer. I did that again. And Robert Lukens, the 21 starters. 167 laps, 78 degrees. And of course, league presented by Downrange Transport. As here we go, one final time before we crown a champion here in 167 laps. Pace car hangs a left and into the hands of the flagman. Barney waves the green flag and the championship race is underway for season 3. Maciejewski and Sainz lead them to turn 1. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com as Maciejewski brings them off turn 4. Or turn 2. Yeah, it's going to be one of them nights. Am I at the right track? And you'll see the numbers in gold up there at the top. Those drivers racing for the championship. Miles there in 4th, Tuckness 5th. Fontaine back to 10th with Brison there in 11th. Of course, last season it came down to Fontaine and Miles racing for the championship, but now, of course, with the different elements and changes and things like that, and with updates and that kind of thing, obviously track changes can happen, but we'll see what happens here in the long run. The other thing we need to bring up here is, remember, with the lack of cautions we've been seeing here in this series, if we go caution free all the way to lap 83, there will be a halfway break. That is going to play a role when it comes to these guys. You see Strayer sliding up already towards Fontaine. There's Brison there with him. These cars down here at the bottom of the track right now. And I think eventually you're going to see them rotate their way up. That Dale's Pools in spot number 21 car. Brandon Alphin there behind Tuckness. You see the battle behind them with Jacob Thornton of 42, the 91. Of Dylan Rosenberg. Appreciate the viewers coming and hanging out. I know we got started about 30 minutes later than usual. Unfortunately, the virtual rain showed up. But off to a clean start here so far. And good to see everybody here tonight. Good to see the viewers here tonight. And got some special guests to talk about here in just a little bit that are hanging out watching us. Maciejewski leading by 2/10 right now over Dalton, who's got about a 10th over Diego Sainz. And then Stephen Miles there in the 4th position now. You're seeing those cars start to rotate out to the wall. There you see that Edmonton Oilers car, Joey Ladouceur, showing his support for his Canadian hockey team there that fell just short of the Stanley Cup. Kind of ironic he's wearing that paint scheme in Miami. Now the good news here is where the Panthers actually play hockey is about 45 minutes, almost an hour up the road from the track up in Fort Lauderdale on the west side there. As we've got ourselves a battle for the lead, as here comes Diego Sainz, who's sporting a road course paint scheme, if you will. He's got the old Falcon Tire 44. He's even got the the IMSA number there. Inside of Maciejewski with Dalton right there chasing. And should be able to clear. I mean, he's right there. He didn't slide up. Gave plenty of room to that 93 car up the back straightaway. History have pulled away by about 2 seconds over Stephen Miles, who runs in the 4th position. Brandon Alphin there behind him. Racing pretty hard here. I like it. Good stuff so far. Looking over at the 44 car, the Gunslinger Racing Team. Of course, Diego picking up his 2nd win of his GLSR career at Michigan just a few weeks back. He's had a great season, fell up just a little short of the Final Four, but has done a fantastic job of being consistent and continuing to improve in his car and his racecraft and stuff. The only thing he's got to look out for here in the near future is, unfortunately, a hurricane that sits out in the Atlantic Ocean right now that really doesn't know where it's going, other than it's just getting bigger. Brison right there in the 9th position now. Tracking behind Jacob Thornton, Lucas Strayer right there also. As these guys stay single file, and I mean, these guys just continue to fight it out. You notice they've swapped spots, a little crossover move made by Maciejewski. Finally, Diego clears for the lead down to turn 1. You wonder how much these guys are going to burn their tires up. Of course, this race being 50 miles longer than any other GLSR race on the season. That's always done on purpose. Brison going to clear the 42 for the 8th position, going to bring Fontaine with him. So as you see, the 4 drivers racing for the championship, they are working their way forward. Matter of fact, they're all 4 right there in that photo. You saw Miles, Tuckness, Brison, and Fontaine. The one thing that's definitely different this season from last season when it comes to the final 4 racers is you do not have 2 teams pretty much racing against each other. You got one group of teammates with Brison and Miles, and then you've got Tuckness and Fontaine, where last season you had Dalton and Fontaine, so it was kind of a 2-on-2. It was like a tag team match in a race. As Cam Ingram works underneath Rosenberg. Looking up here at the 4th position, here's Tuckness and Miles. I mentioned Tuckness came into the playoffs pretty much in good shape to make it to the Final Four, but he did everything but miss it as he struggled in the 4 playoff races to get him set up for this race before being able to advance with Fontaine's win last week. Tuckness will clear for position, and back up front, it's Maciejewski and Sainz again. Diego up there in that 20 degrees of bank, and should be able to carry the speed down the back straightaway here. This track had everybody fooled earlier this week. They put out a statement saying, hey, we're going to have a big announcement tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I forget which day it was, maybe Thursday. And everybody was like, ooh, repave, or final race of the season, something like that. And they announced the new precedent. It was kind of funny. Big tease. All right, 17 laps complete here. Should be able to easily go to close to lap 50. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the field get split by about 40-40 or so with pit stops and getting tires. Of course, if this stays green, to get that a halfway point. Tuckness there, 4th position. You see him trying to reel in at Jason Dalton, 3rd place car, about 2.5 seconds or so up to 3rd. And the top 3 just pretty much not able to separate themselves right now. So I mentioned earlier some special guests. If you've been on Discord with me or over in the Facebook page, you kind of heard me mention these guys, and had a chance on Friday, or wait, I'm thinking today's Friday because of like the holiday. On Tuesday, I had a chance to go hang out for a little bit there after I got done with work. Went over to MC Racing in Fort Wayne to check out the simulators there, and got to meet Mark, who's the owner of the place, and I know he used to be in a mall here in Fort Wayne, moved there downtown, and I know he's open right now, as a matter of fact, and he's got 2 big rigs hooked up that you can race from. I mean, you name the simulator, you could race it pretty much all the way up to iRacing and more now. Matter of fact, there's a couple of guys that come in and actually do some racing on iRacing during the week. They'll run like official sessions and stuff, which is kind of interesting. As let's jump up here to the battle for the lead, as Sainz holding off Maciejewski there on the top side. But if you get a chance to go into the Fort Wayne area and you're driving into the area from out of town, a lot of people like to stop here. Check out MC Racing on Facebook, and their name on the Facebook page is MC Racing Fort Wayne. MC Racing Fort Wayne. Look them up over there. Check them out. Go stop in there, and you'll check out the 2 rigs. I got to run a few laps. Myself ran an IndyCar 1 race, and he actually threw me in a spec race on a track I don't even remember now, in Japan, Suzo or something like that. I've never heard of the track, and it wouldn't be a Scala race if I didn't wreck somebody, so I might have done that, but it was a lot of fun, definitely worth it. So check out, if you go in the Fort Wayne area, MC Racing, a great simulating place to go and have fun. Bring your friends out there. It's a good place to, like, for those who don't follow racing or know about sim racing, take them there and put them in the rig. I saw a lady in there as I was walking in there, and I don't know if these 2 were race fans or not, but she was in there and she was out there running laps at Watkins Glen in a GT3. I was like, that's got to be fun right there. as these two just battle for the lead. Easy, easy. Roughing them up. I'm not sure if netcode started that. We'll have to get outside the car and look at that, but there was definitely contact between Maciejewski and Sainz, and Dalton's going to move to second. Let's see if we can get a better view of this here. Turn one, and Maciejewski tries to get to the right rear, and he right there. Oh, yeah, a little contact there. I think we need a crash cam this one. All right, one more time. Maybe some netcode, but it wasn't much. Diego probably not going to be happy about that move as Brandon pulls away. 26 laps in the books. Some nice rain cells here in the area, I'm being told. Not in Homestead, but where I'm at. Nice. As the battle for second one, you see Tuckness starting to reel these guys in. So again, just like the NASCAR Championships, the best finisher tonight out of the 4 drivers will be the champion in the series. And the one thing we have never seen is a back-to-back series champion. Miles right there, Lucas Strayer right behind him in the 6th position, Brandon Alphin, Sam Fontaine. Appreciate the viewers hanging out here tonight. See Telder hanging out with his usual, I think I can say this now, free Telder line. He'll be back in the series next season, from what I understand. J34 ever hanging out. Mark Schmidt's watching, of course. Fireworks outside. I appreciate everybody hanging out, and hopefully everybody has a very safe 4th of July as we check out back here. Battle for the 15th position is Thornton, Ladasor, Gagnon, Blaine Sparling, all these guys right here. 4 cars under a blanket. I mean, Gagnon up there running the boards, and he's doing a little more than running the boards. He's roughing the boards right now, unfortunately. And he's going to lose some positions because of it. I mean, look, he made the run off the corner still. I mean, he was rubbing that wall. Cam Ingram, Tyler Pluff, that 39 snap-on car. Just kind of minding their P's and Q's here. Outside that little contact for the lead, been pretty clean and green here throughout. while we're got some green flag going on here, let's show off the schedule for next season. It has already been released, and here it is, as we'll kick off the season the second week of August with the Clash at Daytona. That'll be a 25 lap race there on the 14th. In Talladega for 65 laps, then to Darlington on the 28th, right back there after being there in the third race of the playoffs this season. Charlotte Motor Speedway there on the 11th of September. And then Barber Motorsports Park. That is going to be interesting to see. It's a track that was originally built for motorcycles. IndyCar run there every year. But we're going to put the Xfinity cars at Barber in September. That should be interesting. Nashville Super Speedway at the end of the month. Bristol, and then you see the truck symbol there at Eldora in October. That is because they're switching over to trucks for the Eldora race. Kind of like old school back in the day, so that should be fun. Indianapolis, New Hampshire, Dover, Michigan, and in the playoffs, Chicago, Road America, Las Vegas, Kern County in Auto Club Speedway to finish it out. So it'll be the first trip to Kern County. And we got a road course in the playoffs. So definitely some interesting mixture of tracks here for next season. Shout out for the American Truck Simulator schedule look. "34 laps in, and here we go. Some battling for fourth as the two leaders right now in the playoff standings, Miles and Tuckness. Fontaine has gotten ahead of Brison in the 7th position right now as there they go side by side. See the different groups we got here is Miles puts it right down to that white line. Tuckness kind of splitting the 19 and 20 degrees of banking. He'll be able to carry the momentum down the straightaway here. Let's see if he gets back beside Miles, or it looks like Miles cleared him. So when do we see pit stops? That's to me. Ooh, Tuckness getting a little loose there off 2. Trying to bring her down the banking. That car was not liking that. And Tuckness is going to be the pit road now. Here we go. Answer my question. Lap 37. Tuckness has been doing some different strategies here at this early part of the run, and this is where I think it's been kind of hurting him. Let's see if he does something different here and goes 4 tires, or will he try a 2-tire stop here? It is 4 tires in fuel for the 94, and he's going to pull away clean in 14.9. Tonight, you do not want to make a mistake. Does that bring anyone to pit road out of the other final 4 drivers? Or they got their own strategy? Not going to let Tuckness throw off their strategy, but he is going to have some pretty good tires now to work with here. As that's your leader, Brandon Maciejewski. As you see, Diego Sainz put the fishing pole out there, and he is starting to reel in that 93 car after the contact a little bit ago. Dalton 2.2 seconds back, and then Miles, Fontaine, and Strayer. Back here on Alex Brison, 10th position. I'm sorry, 8th position for him. And that 38 car, Dylan Rosenberg there behind him in the 91. Dylan kind of calling his shot tonight in chat. Said, hey, I think I got something for the leaders tonight. Unfortunately, he's P9 right now. Needs a little bit of work on that car, or just need to get some track position. Very tough to pass out here, especially on worn tires. He should just do a great job of saving throughout. Simonson going to be next to pit road. Lap number 40, 20th place driver in on pit road. And now teammates going to battle it out is Alfin. Kind of starting to fall back a little bit there at Dale's Pools and Spa number 21 car. A great reminder right now for those who have not tried it out yet. 4D Racewear has your gloves and shoes, shirts, and so much more for your enhancement of iRacing experience or whatever sim you like to play. Check out 4dracewear.com for great, comfortable shoes and gloves and so much more. Got some more big events coming up. I know recently the Spa 24 got done on iRacing, and I know the Brickyard's coming in a couple weeks, so get your gloves and get your shoes now at 4dracewear.com. Get yourself ready and improve your experience here on iRacing. Uh-oh, Simonson in problems. He is off track over here in the grass and is towed back to pit road. Not sure what happened there. No cautions. He stayed way off the track, and here's a lot of sore on pit road. And here comes Fontaine, the second of the playoff drivers to pit road. Odyssor in the Edmonton car, should I say, he took 4 pucks in fuel. As Brewer and Midgift now in. Fontaine 14.4, he pulls away. Lucas Strayer, Jacob Thornton to pit road, lap 45. Again, they get to lap 83. That'll be the halfway break. 83, 84, something like that's kind of interesting when it gets to an odd number finish, because then you got to figure out if it's lap 83 or 84. That's halfway technically. It would be the backstretch of 83. I want to remind you, if you are, of course, on TikTok, you can follow the Captain Esports Network over there, but also be on the lookout, continuing to put YouTube shorts up on YouTube throughout the week. I know I'm a little behind right now with them, but slowly catching up, getting them posted and more. But your chance to check out some exciting moments in a race or the finish of a race, but you can do so, of course, just look around. If you're in the Shorts area of YouTube, you'll see the Captain Esports Network. Probably you swipe across your screen, or on TikTok if you like to give us a follow there, you'll definitely see them. As former teammates here, Cam Ingram, Brandon Alfin, the 6th position, make that 7th position here as Cam's going to clear. So we've had 2 playoff drivers on pit road, and it's the non-laser racing bunch. They obviously have their own little strategy that they're trying to work with here. As Maciejewski is pulled back away 1 second now over Diego Sainz. Jason Dalton, Stephen Miles, and Alex Brison, your top 5. We've had 7 cars come to pit road, with Johnathan Tuckness right now with about a 9-second advantage over Fontaine on the track, but about 7 lap older tires. As here comes Jason Dalton to pit road. Is there a right number of when to come to pit road? I don't necessarily know that answer right now. I've always been a fan of doing whatever the leaders don't do, so leaders have stayed out. If I'm not the fastest car, I'm probably already been to pit road by now. Trying to steal some of that track position, but knowing they're going to be faster in the long run. And you see Tuckness to the left of the screen there, just to the left of the screen. You're going to see Fontaine right there on the bottom. As here comes your leader, Maciejewski. As Dalton 14.9, he pulls away. As Brandon going to do 4 tires in field. So really haven't seen any strategy that's been different. Everybody's been the same the whole entire time here. As Diego Sainz comes to pit road. I'm going to go ahead and put this out there now. The lineup is going to be mixed up when we get done with these pit stops from what I'm seeing. As here comes Gagnon to pit road. Unfortunately, for those watching maybe for the first time tonight or wondering where's the pit crews, they just haven't got that technology yet. You can see them if you're in the car. You can see your pit crews, but you can't see them outside the car. As I should say, Diego Sainz, obviously 14.5 as he pulls away. Gagnon 14.3. So the top 2, Miles and Brison. As Dane Cruz checking in on chat. Good, sir. Miles letting the guys on fresher tires go by. But as you see on the track map, where everybody is now, that 93, you notice is now behind the 77, who's now behind the 94, which I guarantee you he'll pop out here behind this 3 in a second. This field's going to get a little Yahtzee shake here when it's over with. Cam Ingram's on pit road in the 5 car. A lot of people letting this tank run out as you see Dylan Rosenberg, Tyler Pluff on pit road as Miles lets a lot of Sewer go by. Apparently Cruz is here to watch Blaine Sparling tonight. Blaine running in the Blaine right now. He was on pit road earlier. 15th position. There's Rosenberg and Pluff on pit road. And of course, I go back to the Atlanta race. Miles was one of the last cars to pit. And those guys that waited and waited and waited and finally came to pit road were able to actually catch the cars that pitted earlier and make the pass for the, if you will, stage win, if you want to call it a stage, and get that bonus point at halfway. Of course, this season, the return of the halfway yellow in the series after roughly a 5-season hiatus, 4 or 5 seasons. So top 3 cars and Dalton Carter, the only cars not to pit. And then once everybody does, right now Johnathan Tuckness would be the leader of this race by 3.3 seconds over Sam Fontaine. Of course, this is pending where everybody else comes out of the pits. And then Brandon Maciejewski would then be in the 3rd position. Diego Sainz, Lucas Strayer, your top 5. But again, that depends on Miles and Brison when they come to pit road, along with Brandon Alphin. So the team Laser Racing guys all up front as Brison about pulls a Kurt Busch and comes to pit road. Looks like Dalton Carter going to come to pit road also. Four tires and fuel 15.1. And we'll see where Brison comes out. You see Tuckness over here in turn 3 and 4. That just shows you all the added speed from those fresher tires compared to Brison. And you make up 3/4 of a track on the 94. Maybe get the lead or gain position-wise before the halfway break here. So now Miles and Alfin, the only two yet to pit here. And Brandon's in now, so the tires have fallen off almost 2 seconds a lap. Everybody running about 35 flats to 35 fives for Miles. The newer tires running 33 flat, 33 5s, 6s, 7s in that range. So you put these tires on, you're gaining about 2 seconds a lap. But of course, you're going to get the fall off too as the longer you go into the run. No, 15.1 for Alfin now, and that leaves the one car that has stayed out here so far, Stephen Miles, who has about 15 seconds over Johnathan Tuckness now. Who, by the way, now has a mirror full of Sam Fontaine as they battle. And Miles comes to pit road. See the battle over to the left there with Fontaine and Tuckness. That'll be for the lead here momentarily, but let's watch Miles' pit stop. See how far he actually 2 tires for Miles, 8.6. So there's your strategy right there. And Fontaine is cleared Tuckness for position. And tonight being a night where really no bonus points are on the line at all for the playoff try or for the Final Four, because it's just win and you're the champion. So Miles just doing some saving of tires basically right now. So here's the battle for second as Maciejewski has gone by Tuckness for position. Track, so much history at it already, and only the just near 30 years of existence. Actually, yeah, just near 30 years. Next year will be 30 years. 1992, of course, Hurricane Andrew hits the Homestead-Miami area. 1995, track opens up on an old mill that had been wiped out by the storm. Of course, it opened up as a rectangular 1.5-mile track, and after some unfortunate passings and some very interesting I shouldn't say interesting, but pretty bad wrecks at this track, they turned it into a flat 1.5 miles until 2003, where they put the banking on it. You see signs go by Tuckness for third, but they put the progressive banking 18 to 20 on it, and same pavement ever since. So you see Bryce in their 10th position now with the fresher tires. hasn't really made waves. He's got Rosenberg right in front of him, who pitted 3 laps sooner. Robert Lucan's there in that Skull 33 car going a lap down. As Tuckness going to lose another spot as Dalton to his inside. Of course, a lot of notes can be taken in a race like this, especially in this first half, with the way this is going, so that you can turn around in the second half. And if you feel like your strategy might have been the right one, you do it again. You know what you got and you know what you don't have. So again, this will be the last race, and I said this last Thursday too, and I ended up having a broadcast on Sunday, but to my knowledge, this is the last broadcast you'll see for us until next Thursday. And then after that, we'll be back on 4 to 5 nights a week. And of course, with breaks here and there because of the leagues changing or, you know, obviously ending their seasons or whatnot, is the battle for second. Diego Sainz at the inside of Fontaine. And he's got him. So move the 44 up to second. As we're now under 100 laps to go in the season. That is correct, Jay. Yeah, be your you guys there on Thursday. That's my next broadcast after this. So nothing tomorrow night because of the holiday. I have no Friday series, no Saturday series. And then Sunday and Monday are off. Nothing on Tuesday, and there will be nothing on Wednesday. Yeah, right. A little vacation time, a little break time. You know, been enjoying it. Family time. Going to bed a little early here so far. You know, again, been trying to get the YouTube things up, but I put a post up a couple days ago of the Sunday race from last week and made it unlisted accidentally. I was like, whoops. I woke up the next morning. I was like, why don't I only have like 8 views? And I was like, oh, that's why. And Strayer passes Tuckness. So now you see, obviously, Johnathan falling back after pitting at lap 36. The only one who might make out pretty well in this. 2 people might actually in the end. Fontaine and Brison. Now, I want to go back to the Miles pit stop because I want to make sure I got this accurate, of course, with so much on the line tonight. And I want to watch, did Miles take tires? And I said 2 tires, but he had an 8.6 second stop here. And there's a chance that this was actually fuel only. Let's watch 24 down pit road here, 45 miles an hour. Let's see if any of his car lifts up at all. I don't see a single part lifting. So Miles actually took fuel only. So he still has a set of tires sitting. So everybody took tires except Miles. So that's an interesting strategy call. I kind of like it. Because if this race comes down to a late caution later, that 24 car could be sitting on gold. Everybody's pretty spread out here for the most part, with less than 10 laps to go here before we get to that halfway break. This right here is your best battle on the track. I say that as you got this one too. But Rosenberg, Brison, and Camming were up there for 7th, and you got Thornton and Gagnon battling back here for 15th. Oh, Tuckness into the wall. Don't want to make any mistakes. You know, unfortunately, he's falling back, but this is not the time you want to add to the mistakes here. Just let the car get what you can get out of it. You're going to get a caution coming up here shortly. Don't make it worse. All right, let's show you where everybody runs right now here on the track. Of course, Brandon Maciejewski's been up front, led the most laps here so far in this 93 car, as he has actually just put Miles a lap down. That might be interesting, because we look now, here's Miles, a lap down on lap 76, and you look right behind him is Tyler Brewer, which could take him out of the lucky dog position. This is an interesting call now. So as I mentioned, Maciejewski leads, and Diego Sainz running in the second position. Sam Fontaine running in third in that 77 car. Jason Dalton, he is in the fourth position here. And Lucas Strayer, top five right now in that spoiler diecast. Number 41, should mention, if you type in GLSR at spoiler diecast website, on a purchase, you'll get the, of course, 5% discount and free shipping anywhere in the U.S. Just type in GLSR when you go to the checkout. Alex Brison there in the sixth position. Dylan Rosenberg, seventh. He is just past Tuckness there. He's got Tyler Pluff and Cam Ingram behind them. Here's Wayne Sparling, Brandon Alton, Joey Ladasor, 11th, 12th, 13th. Josh Gagnon in the 14th position. Jacob Thornton, 15th, and you see Brewer has gone past Miles for 16th. As mentioned, Miles 17th, Richard Midkiff 18th, Dalton Carter 19th, Robert Lukens 20th, and Luke Simonson off the track, unfortunately, after an issue on his pit stop. So right now, Fontaine and Brison sitting pretty. Of course, anything can happen in this race, as again we come up to halfway here in just 4 laps. We watch the battle here. Pluff trying to get around Ingram there, gets a little free in front of Tuckness there. Fontaine now with his teammate there behind him of Jason Dalton. Midkiff going to go around Miles now for position. These guys are going to want to break when this thing's all over with. We're in that Pro Sim West number 40 car. So this will be the telltale number here. So we're at lap 83 now. So obviously we're technically halfway, but when you look at the math, you divide 167. It's right about here where we get the halfway point, the backstretch of lap 83. But they're probably going to let them come back around here and get to lap 84, and you should see the Yellow come across the lap number there, bringing out the caution here. Maybe. It's if they remember. As there goes the 91 of Rosenberg past the 41 for position. Move him up to 6. So Dylan now starting to make a move. Now, there's been times this season where there's the caution. Okay, lap 85 apparently. So if this was not the championship race, Maciejewski would have got a bone, which actually he might get one now, being he's not in the playoff 4 for leading at the halfway point. We can take a breath here and regroup, and that means now we went all the way, but yeah, every race except for North Wilkesboro in the playoffs, we went all the way to halfway. The field's going to have to catch up here. And according to my numbers, looks like Tyler Brewer will be the lucky dog. As the leaders will come to pit road right here. Here should be 4 tires and fuel, pretty much like restarting a race here. And Tuckness actually has stayed out. So an interesting call there from his side. As Maciejewski will win a race off pit road, Diego Sainz, Dalton, Fontaine, Brison, Strayer, Rosenberg, Pluff, and Ingram, your top 10. And let's see here what I can pull off. See if I can find a way to get a word with all 4 playoff drivers before we get the green flag here. Let's talk to Tuckness first. He's right here in the chat. Well, we'll let him. Okay, I thought you might be pitting there, Jonathan, but obviously an interesting race here so far. Longest race of the season with tire strategies and stuff. You pitted there at lap 36. Talk a little bit about your car, and is it a matter of just kind of hanging on and waiting for the right time?
All I can tell you is that I'm terrible here. I don't think I've ever won an official race here in any car, but whether it's street stock or a car, nothing. So I am pulling every hair on every last rabbit I have in the hat to try to pull something out here.
So is this one of those now you've kind of, you see what you got there in that first stage? You did the pit stop at 36. Is this one now that you feel maybe, okay, was the right move to make? Is this one that's like, I need to do something different in that this coming up here for this race? Or how'd you feel after that was over with?
I'll be honest with you, man. I think we're screwed.
Well, there you go. I think that's pretty blunt. I like it. All right, man. Well, hey, best of luck, man. Hopefully you're not. So
Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Johnathan Tuckness, appreciate the bluntness, if you will, there. As we'll get him down to his channel. And let's see if... It's on to Fontaine now. As Sam runs in the 5th position right now. Sam obviously pretty good race. Looked pretty good there in that first stage. We going to look at maybe a similar strategy for this one?
We will see, man. A lot of things can happen. We still have a lot of lap to go, and I don't know. We're just having fun. Hopefully, we can bring it in one piece and see where it brings us. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
Hey, thanks, man.
You too. As that is Sam Fontaine there. As we're coming to 1 to green. Let's see if I can pull this one off here. Let's see if I can get AB up here real quick. AB, how you feeling?
I feel okay. It's not over yet. A little over halfway. I like my chances, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully nothing crazy happens here, and just kind of run it out like we did the first half of this race. So we're gonna give it HE double hockey sticks and go for it.
Sounds good, man. Best of luck, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, let's see if I can get Miles. Real quick word here before they go to green. Yeah, let's just wait. Miles is actually a lap down now in 18th. If I get another caution, we'll talk to Miles here. Got to everybody but Miles. So, and I know he's probably frustrated right now with what's going on. So, Miles, if you're listening, and I know you watch my streams, so I'll try to get back and get him up there and talk to him as we go green. And for the viewers watching here tonight and everybody hanging out for the first time this evening, we crank it up, or turn it up as we like to call it here in the Captain Esports Network. Fox, don't sue me, please. Battle on up here for the second position. You see Fontaine and Brison putting the pressure on Maciejewski as Diego Sainz has gone back to the lead on the restart here. The pressure really starting to pick up for these guys. Fontaine trying to win his second Premier Series championship. And he would actually become the... whoa, that got close. Would actually become the first three-time champion in GLSR history of both series combined. Of course, I bring in the trucks into that conversation there too. Fontaine season 1 of the Premier Series, Miles last season. And who will it be season 3 tonight? Of course, you go back to the trucks. It was the last season there. Of course, names are now as it gets later into the evening time. It's like when you have this stuff written down. It was Alex. I know that for sure. Got his name. I'm looking at his car in my head right now. Of course, now I gotta go pull the research out because I feel like a dummy. Like Strayer there, 5th position. Have a great run there. Tuckness is on pit road here. What is going on here? This is early. I don't think this was in his cards. Putting tires on here. We stayed out. Until now, and leaves pit road. So now he's got to pit one more time to get to the finish of this race. Interesting call here. Look who's up to second, Alex Brison. Some might call him the underdog going into this Final Four race. You go to Darlington, which was kind of similar track, worn out tires and all. As we hit lap 167 laps to go. And I honestly don't have a clue what's about to happen here. This is getting very interesting. Appreciate everybody hanging out here on the Captain Esports Network tonight. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and get the notifications and stuff when we're on the air. Alex Cummings was that driver, by the way. It has crossed my mind finally again. Alex Cummings, of course, won the last truck season that we broadcasted here on the Captain Esports Network. Fontaine actually won the final truck season before going into the Grand National side of things, into the Premier Series, if I remember correctly, there. And of course, Brandon Alphin with a championship. You had Blaine Sparling win a championship, Zach Allman with 2, Calhoun with 2. And then, of course, you had Ricky Springer get 2 championships also. So there was definitely a lot of great racing in all the seasons here of GLSR. As Dalton Carter on pit road in the 3 car now. Signs leads by 0.8 of a second over Brison. Macheski there 3rd. Fontaine, Strayer your top 5. And the battle here with Strayer and Fontaine now for the 4th position. Pastrana hanging out 4th position right now. It's the battle for 2nd. Here comes Maciejewski, who's had a great run tonight, looking to go to victory lane. And he's going to clear Brison, move him to 2nd. With 60 laps to go. Miles and Tuckness off the lead lap now with different strategies. It's just a matter now of what Brison and Fontaine do, because pretty much it's down to them two unless something happens, which anything can happen, and need I say usually does. As Fontaine falls back there, you see Dalton, his teammates gone by. Rosenberg there behind him. I'm actually taking a peek here as we're watching the battle here with Fontaine and Dalton. I'm just double checking my numbers here of the history, of course, with help from Tyler Brewer back in the day. So actually, okay, let me back this up. So Stephen Miles won the truck championship the final year after Alex Cummings. And then Fontaine, of course, won season 7's championship. So yeah, so I just to fact check myself there. There's never been a back-to-back champion in this series. I think I look that up every season just to make sure. But for Fontaine, it would be his 3rd championship, which nobody's ever done in this series. For Miles, it would be his 3rd championship, which nobody's ever done in this series when it comes to both cars combined. So I'm glad I double-checked that. That's why you heard me kind of quiet there for a second. So I was just peeking over at the numbers and stuff like that. But Diego has been caught by Brandon. You wonder if this battle is going to be a little different than it was the first time. Of course, you remember the contact that happened that sent the 44 up the track scrambling. As Brandon drops to the bottom of that 97 car. Clear of Maciejewski to the front. So Brandon's been pretty fast throughout the night here, and he's looking to go to victory lane here to finish out the season. He ran that bluey paint scheme, of course, to support his daughter. And I know he's had a newborn here recently, but he's done nothing but put this rabbit on the car. And all of a sudden the car took off, and it's been top 3 here the last few weeks, and he's looking to put her in victory lane here tonight to cap out season number 3 of this Downrange Transport Premier Series. Again, big shout out to Kevin Davis, who runs Downrange Transport. He's sponsored the series the last 3 seasons since the Premier Series started. Tonight going to be the last race with Downrange Transport as the premier sponsor. So big shout out to Kevin, and I'm much appreciative for what he's done for the series, not only from the admin help he did seasons ago to now with the sponsorship and more, but Mr. Radiator going to be the new sponsor for season 4 that'll kick off in August, which leads me to question, will the champion get a golden radiator cap or something? Kind of cool. I think we talked about that at the dirt race once. Robert Lucan's on pit road as battle back here. Fontaine starting to pick off spots again. Backed it off, saved his tires, went past Dalton, and now looking to go past Strayer for 5th. It's actually 4th. Let me get that right. The window's open now. You can make it on fuel the rest of the way. What lap do you pit? Do you just split it in half? Do you stretch it out as long as you can go? I feel like you have to kind of split that part. I don't know if short pitting's the answer. I don't think going long's the answer. I think you just have to find that happy medium and pit at that point and see what you can get with the fresher tires. Brison trying to win his first GLSR championship. Didn't have a win all season long until Darlington. Race 3 of the playoffs, where he outran everybody at the track too tough to tame and went the victory lane in that race, putting himself in it. But as he said a few minutes ago, he is running like you know what. Or as he called it, HE double hockey sticks, the old school term. As Rosenberg gonna go by Strayer for 5th, so Luke is starting to fall back down at 41 car. So if you're in the books right now, you're in a spot where Stephen Miles or Johnathan Tuckness are. I don't know what moves you really have in this spot. If you only have 46 laps to go for Miles, he's got an extra set of tires in the pits. He might not have a choice but to run this run all the way out. Let everybody come to pit road and hope for a yellow. Problem is you're only going to have about 10 laps to go when that happens. Maciejewski leads by 1.5 seconds now over Diego Sainz. Brison has now caught the 44. Now, obviously, Alex not going to be comfortable as he's only got 0.6 of a second back to Fontaine. fact, Sainz is gonna let Brison go right on by in that outside lane. There's Dalton trying to chase down the 41 car. Hey, I want to remind you again, I want to give a shout out to MC Racing, of course, in Fort Wayne, as they have some great simulators there that you can check out if you're ever coming into the Fort Wayne area and want to check out some cool simulators downtown. You can go in there and race pretty much any game, from iRacing to Seta Corsa to so much more. And a really cool setup there, simulating with the sound and all. It's top notch. Make sure you check it out. MC Racing on Facebook, MC Racing Fort Wayne, to check out their information and so much more. But they're right there downtown. And if you're ever coming into town or passing through or whatever, make sure you check out MC Racing in Fort Wayne. A lot of people stop by there. They're open till midnight every night, so they're more of an afternoon, evening time, so you might have the stream on there. Who knows? As you're watching Dalton try to chase down the 41. Josh Gagnon just got by Tyler Clough for positions. Maciejewski led the most laps here this evening. As he's still tipping to a 2.5 second lead over the Houston native Diego Sainz. Actually, I'm sorry, Brison, and then Diego Sainz behind him, as Brison just made that pass. And then there's Fontaine starting to catch the 38. And Rosenberg right there behind him. As Dalton and Strayer now battle with less than 40 laps to go. When do these guys come to pit road? Wow, I can't speak. Quesabure? Something like that, maybe? Hello, Johnny. Welcome into the chat, by the way. As here comes Brison to pit road. First one to dive in with 37 laps to go. Four tires and fuel. It should be for the 38. As Fontaine right behind him. Here comes your other lead lap car of those in the playoffs. This is exactly what Tuckness and Miles need, is these guys to come to pit road. They need everybody on pit road. Four tires and fuel for both these guys, and they will pull away. 14.5 for Fontaine, 14.9 for Rosenberg. And here comes Diego to pit road now. Signs on pit road, Brewer on pit road. So is Alphin. As Signs is going to pull away 15-2 as here comes Maciejewski to pit road. So it seems like what I'm noticing here is that first stage, just like every week, it's like everybody kind of spreads out in pits. This time around, it's like everybody comes to pit road at one time. They realize just run the race in half. See Brewer leaving pit road, 4 tires and fuel for the 93. And that hands the lead over to Lucas Strayer, who's got a battle with Jason Dalton on his hands as Tyler Pluff comes to pit road. As Dalton might be able to slide up here, as he sure does. So right at the 200-mile mark, which is normally the latest you'll see any race go in GLSR, is that 180 to 200-mile range. We are now at that extra 50 miles right here to put in the books to see who's going to be the champion here. Appreciate everybody for joining us on the Captain Esports Network tonight. Been a little later than usual start. There was an iRacing server issue, so they didn't even get a practice up until nearly 9 o'clock, an hour after the time usually of practice, and then we got started at about 9:30 with the race, so that's why you're seeing it's almost 11 and you're wondering why are they only 130 laps in. That's your reason. As back here, Fontaine and Maciejewski all right here. Brison 3.6 seconds out in front of these guys. As Tuckness is coming to pit road, and Brandon Alphin's back in. As Alphin actually is going to jump to pit road, so looks like Alphin's night unfortunately is over with. This here's Tuckness in for another set of tires, it looks like. He said he was going to try some kind of Hail Mary move, and here it is. Well, he's been trying to here the last couple of laps. Uh-oh. And I think he made it worse. Did he speed on pit road? He is sitting there, 29, 30 seconds. One of the winningest drivers this season, 4 wins. Led the playoffs, or led into the playoffs, regular season champion and all. Unfortunately, it is just falling apart for him. And a tough break there for Tuckness. Tough break for Alphin also. Here's Dalton on pit road. It's 14-6 and 14-8 for those two respectively. The only playoff car not to pit yet so far, Stephen Miles, who's obviously going to let this race cycle around. That's his only chance really now. I mean, he's actually on the lead lap right now as we speak, so if he could get a yellow anytime, he would be back on the lead lap and with a chance here. But eventually he is going to have to come back to pit road, and he's got that extra set of tires. You just hope for his sake that he's not going to end up sitting there with an extra set of tires at the end of this race. But the way this laps are ticking off here with 26 to go, it might end up being the situation here. As you see, Dalton catching the 24 there. And I hate to say this for Miles, this might be a race that he ends up kicking himself for a very long time. As Cam Ingram running the boards, leading this race. Josh Gagnon second, Blaine Sparling third. Lotta Soar in the Edmonton Oilers car fourth. And then the leader of the bunch right now, out of the final four, Alex Brison. Looking to become the third different champion in the 3 seasons of the Premier Series. As you see him pull around the 23 car and take the 4th position away. And look at this right here for 7th as Sainz has caught the back of the 77. As they trying to chase down Maciejewski there in the 44, or in the 93, I'm sorry. Sainz clears Fontaine. A lot of swords pitted. Blaine Sparling on pit road now. And here comes Cam. Here comes Josh Gagnon to pit road. Of course, these guys all went green a little after lap 87 to 88, somewhere in that range. So a lot of these guys going the full 60 laps on a tank of fuel. And that's going to hand the lead over here to Alex Brison. 0.7 of a second now over Maciejewski. But more importantly, he's got 3 spots over Sam Fontaine. As Brison going to run the 21 laps of his life right here. He got close to the wall there. He's won championships in other leagues, but he has not won one in GLSR. A couple seasons ago, he made his debut here and pointed his way into the championship 4. And then last season, in a race that I still cannot believe, he made the pass on Jason Dalton on the outside at Dover, coming to the line to win the race in a photo finish, and now has a chance to be a champion here in season 3 as Maciejewski to his inside. Now Stephen Miles comes to pit road. Yeah, I know when he pitted that first time, and he's going 2 tires here. But Miles trying to anything to get that track position. He's trying to stay on the lead laps, what he's trying to do here. I thought he took 2 tires earlier in the race. Went back and looked at the replay. Car never lifted or anything. Two cars, make that 3 cars out of the race now. Brandon Alfin, Robert Lukens, and Luke Simonson. Only the 1 caution there at halfway. Maciejewski's led the most laps here tonight, 17 to go. Fontaine tries to get to the back of Brison. He's about 1.3 seconds back, make that 1.4 seconds back from the 38. That yellow car right up ahead there. And appreciate everybody hanging out here this evening on the Captain Esports Network as we're past the 11 o'clock hour here Eastern time. And big shout out to everyone who's been here tonight. Hopefully you have a great 4th of July. And of course, we won't be on the air again until next Thursday, a week from now, as most leagues are either done or taking a holiday break. As always, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. If you're not, we appreciate you coming back and hanging out. Want to remind you that 40 Racewear has shoes and gloves and merchandise for you to check out. Just go to 40racewear.com and get yourself ready for the next race with a set of shoes or gloves while you race your rig in the future. 40racewear.com with their information. And a good big shout out to Spoiler Diecast. They've been on Lucas Strayer's car throughout the season. And a good opportunity to type in that code right there, GLSR, when you check out to get yourself a discount and some shipping, free shipping on a diecast car. As these 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place cars get closer and closer together here. Lonosaur blinked a little bit there. But this right here could become the race for the championship. As Lonosaur having big time blinking issues. As Fontaine trying to clear signs for 3rd. The race within the race has begun right here. Fontaine to the inside. You see Sam's is better rolling through the corner. He's going to clear him. Fontaine 2's P2. As Brison with the crossover, he's not going to give it up that easy. Nine laps to go. Maciejewski's gone. Oh, Brison has knocked the wall down off 2. As Brison not going to give it up, though. He's going to continue to fight as he battles signs for the 3rd position. And Brison's going to claim. You wonder if Diego backed off there to let Brison go race Sam. Of course, Fontaine coming up on the back of Tyler Brewer here. So Sam Fontaine, you look at the history of this guy, slowly learned how to get out there on ovals and race. He's used to running short tracks and dirt cars, and showed up here, was very competitive from the start. Went out there, won the Season 7 Truck Championship. 3 seasons later, they switch over to the Xfinity or B cars on iRacing. And he goes out there and wins the first championship in that series, and now looking to do something that no driver has done, as I've mentioned, and become the first 3-time series champion. And he does what you have to do to get in and win this championship, and that is to make it to the Final Four almost consistently now. You could almost argue that he's the best that's come through this series now. Of course, there's been tons of great drivers. I've had the honor of being a part of a majority of the seasons here, and there have been some good ones to come through. Has 3 laps to go. Of course, Maciejewski leading. He does have 1 win this season, and that came at Gateway back in May. But he's got 2 straight top 3 finishes going into this race tonight. A 2nd at Darlington, of course a 3rd at Atlanta, and now tonight looking to make it another win. As he comes off turn 4, he's going to see the white flag this time by. Final lap of the season. Or Brandon Maciejewski, who has pretty much dominated this race. As you see Fontaine up to second. Signs has gone by Brison and has pulled away. As Brandon Maciejewski going to bring it off turn number 4, he will see the checkered flag, and his second win of the season comes in Homestead, and Sam Fontaine into the record books, a 2-time Premier Series champion and a 3-time GLSR championship for Sam Fontaine. As Brison will finish 4th behind Signs, Rosenberg with a top 5 finish. I believe the team championship goes to KJD2. Once again. As Maciejewski out there to celebrate. And the KJD2 guys taking a photo. Burning it down. Here comes Maciejewski to join him. The Polish victory lap there for the 93. As we take a look at the final results here. As Sam Fontaine celebrates another championship in GLSR. Again, 3-time champion, 2-time in the downrange Transport Premier Series, as Maciejewski gets his 3rd series win and his 2nd win here this season. Fontaine finishes 2nd, Signs 3rd, Brison 4th, Dylan Rosenberg 5th, Jason Dalton 6th, Lucas Strayer 7th, Tyler Pluff 8th, Cam Ingram 9th, and Josh Gagnon finishes in the top 10 with Thornton 11th, Sparling 12th, Lonasaur 13th, Tyler Brewer 14th, Stephen Miles ends up 15th, 16th to Dalton Carter, Richard Midkiff 18th, Johnathan Tuckness 19th, Tuckness 18th, Brandon Alford 19th. Lukens and Simonson unfortunately had issues here tonight. Only the one caution at halfway, as this race was clean, and another good one for the series as it goes into its off season here. We'll be back in August, of course, will be the first race next season as we talk to the top 3 drivers, and we'll see who we can get words with before signing off the air here from the Championship 4. As we'll talk with the 3rd place finisher here tonight, Diego Sainz. Of course, a tough battle there earlier in the race with Brandon, I know you guys had some contact there, and not sure if that hurt the car or not, but obviously some tough fighting there, and a top 3 finish to finish out the season.
You caught me mid-biting my burger. Give me a second.
All right, burger bite for him. Getting some protein in there after a tough race.
Some burgers and beer. That's what we're rocking with today.
Nothing
but
wrong with that.
It was a lot of fun. Little banging just a little bit with Brandon, but I was gonna race him hard. Last race of the season, I'm like, yeah, let's get a little aggressive. Why not? You know, put us on a little show. And it was a lot of fun. I liked it.
Absolutely, man. Obviously, a long season for you. Just fell up a little short there in the making of the Final Four. Obviously, you look back in the season and say, okay, this spot or that spot, is that one you wish you could have changed to get there?
I think mainly what it was the computer mishaps that I had at the beginning and the wreck at Charlotte. Because the first 2 races, I either lagged out or my pedal stopped working, which was at Pocono and Phoenix, and then wrecked at Charlotte. Honestly, I just got to be more consistent. I am consistent, but I gotta lock in. I was 7 points away from coming here. 7 points away.
There you go.
That's crazy.
I'm sure that'll eat you up, but hey, use that as motivation. Get back here next year or next season, and send some shout outs whoever you like to.
Shout out the champion, Stan Fontaine. It was a lot of fun to watch him and Brison go at it. Shout out the winner, Brandon. Shout out my teammates. I know Cedric's out on vacation, and Cameron was here racing. He wanted a good motivation for next season, but shout out you. I can't wait to hear if you use the term or not. We'll see.
I did.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I like that. And shout out the officials. Can't wait for next season.
Absolutely, man. And you guys be safe down there with whatever happens with this hurricane.
So I ain't gonna lie. I am a weatherman. I am a little bit of meteorologist. I know a lot about it. I think we'll be fine, but we'll see.
We'll see. Just don't turn north, right?
I'm praying.
Right. Diego Sainz finishing in the 3rd position this evening. As don't you usually say something here?
I was waiting for my cue, but
I got you.
Yeah. There we go. All right.
Whoa,
See ya.
with that in there. How about that? A double whammy. All right. As Diego Sainz finishes in the 3rd position here tonight. Even got a plug in there. All right. Let's talk to let's actually grab the race winner here and bring him down here first and talk to him as Brandon obviously celebrates here tonight. And man, what a way to finish out the season for you with a 2nd, 3rd, and 1st at the last 3 races of the season, getting 2 wins here this season. Obviously, you don't make it to the Final Four, but is this still a successful season for you?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of bad luck kind of thrown at us all season long, and just to overcome it at the end and kind of have that kind of dominant victory. It just feels good to go out here, run against these guys that have been absolute tough competitors all season long, and be able to go out there and show that we've got the skill to run up there and we have the skill to win races, but didn't really do us much for as far as the championship points in the top 4, but congratulations to those guys.
You definitely took it to them, though, when it was all over with tonight.
Yeah, we tried to. I said at the start, like, I don't really have anything to fight for. I'm just out here. I want to get a win and use that momentum into next season, depending on my work schedule coming up. It's tough when you get a work schedule that's going to be right in the middle of race time. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we can at least maybe be a part-time entry just to come out and hang out with the guys when we got a day off. And if not, maybe something happens to where I'll have Wednesdays off and I'll be able to race with everybody.
Yes, looking at the numbers here, and obviously things are going to change here and there because obviously the way the point structure is and stuff. I mean, potentially a top 5 finish in points or top 6, 7, somewhere in that range. That, obviously got to be a positive considering where you were at the beginning of the playoffs.
Well, it seems like every week I'm either talking to you or I'm not,
right.
And the goal is to talk to you as many times as possible because that's good for points, but also I just like being here and, being able to kind of just have that conversation on the cool down and, everything you do with the broadcast that puts us out there, it's awesome. But when we're not wrecking cars, we're finishing up front. So bad luck is bad luck.
Right. Well, and I go back to North Wilkesboro. I don't even think you were there. So it was literally you missed, and then you finished second, third, first, or something like that after one race. So,
Yeah, it's just missed North Wilkesboro. I was whipped out tired, man. I got
yeah, I
got the
understand.
2 kids now, so
I understand. Well, hey, obviously best of luck this offseason, obviously with the little one and stuff. We'll see you back soon, and send some shout out to who you like to.
yeah, big shout out to my buddy Alex Huffman, who really helped me learn how to drive this track about 3 years ago. He showed me the lines, how to really keep the car going forward and going fast. So obviously I did something right tonight to show him that I know what he was doing and that I learned a thing or two. But shout out to my wife for taking care of the kids, getting the oldest one to bed while I was racing, and shout out to all the sponsors: Bumper Thumper, Race Tools Direct, Ryko, everybody that helps get this program and help me be a better driver at Highside. And, you know, just huge shout out to everybody in the league, everybody from Sam winning the championship, all the guys in the Final Four, Brison, Miles, Tuckness, great guys to race against. I wouldn't ask for anybody better to race against, honestly. So, and then obviously the best for last. We always do the best one for last, right? But Chris Scala over at Captain's Esport Network for doing what he does, broadcasting, getting us out there. And I'm a big fan. I've been pushing everybody to go check out your races, all the broadcasts that you put out there. But I think I took up enough time. Go get those championship drivers and get them a good spot.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate your time, buddy. Good job on the win.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too, buddy. Brandon Maciejewski, the winner here tonight. Congratulations to him on the 2-win season, and I know he'll be back ready to fight here come next season. As I'm looking around, yeah, they're all gone. So unfortunately, it looks like Brison is gone. Alex, congratulations on finishing P2 in points. Obviously, I know Miles is going to probably watch the broadcast, and unfortunate there for him tonight. And obviously finishing, he'll be third in the championship. And Tuckness, I see he's down here, so maybe I'll get a word with him before this is over with. But let's talk to the champion here for a third time now in series history, as I believe you're now the first 3-time series champion when it comes to the trucks and the B car. Of course, 2-time champion here now. As Sam, what a way to go out, man! Coming up to 9 laps to go, getting the Brison there and making that move to win this championship. Obviously, congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Obviously, I don't want to say you had like a low-key season, but obviously you turned it on in the playoffs. You got 2 wins in the first 4 races there of the playoffs, and then tonight to finish second, obviously to put the crown on top.
Yeah, no, overall, I mean, seems like every season is the same, like kind of starting in slow motion and doing like decent result, not the best, but decent result enough to keep us in the points, and later in the season kind of find it. But it's really showed how good everyone is in the league. We have maybe like 20 guys or close to it that can win pretty much every week. So it's really competitive, and like it takes some time to get used to it at the start of the season and to show up for the wins. And even tonight, I mean, still don't have a win at Homestead, so I mean, the competition was really heavy.
Well, obviously, great job here tonight, and the battling throughout this season. Obviously, you had yourself and Tuckness and Miles. I mean, and even then Brison there at the end of the season. For you, obviously, is this one of the more tougher ones you've had to race for?
For sure. I guess this is not the kind of track that suit the best my driving style, but I mean, it's just a defeat. At the end of the day, like we all have to race the same thing, and yeah, I mean, it was a really tough one because I knew that I didn't need a win. I just needed to beat 4 guys. But the problem was more that at the end of the day, it almost took a win to win the championship, and we had really competitive guy. Like I don't know what happened to Brison at the end in that last stint, but I really thought it was more his than mine. With like 20 to go, I was trying to keep up with him and wait and manage my right front tire and my right rear as much as I could. but that third stint really killed me. Hopefully, I figured out a couple stuff behind the 93 when it passed me like a rocket, and after that, kind of was able to play around, and I don't know, like I don't know what happened, but we made it happen. That's for sure.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations on another championship. Well done on your end, and send some shout outs whoever you like to.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone who made it possible this season. I mean, everyone who were involved to start with, the drivers, the admins, the sponsor, a couple of them like Downrange Racing who gonna stop sponsoring after this season, but it was like really nice from Kevin to help us out during those 4 or 5 season he sponsored us. We really appreciate it, and really a chic tip, and hopefully like we're gonna see him on track in the near future. Every other sponsor that show up this season for the sponsored race, Joey, Mr. Radiator, that's gonna be the main sponsor next season, but also sponsor the short track Triple Crown this season was like a really nice little feature, and hopefully we can put together something for next season too, where we're gonna get some more bonus races, and obviously you for a great broadcast like always, one of the best.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Well, congratulations, and go celebrate the championship with the team.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. As Sam Fontaine, the champion in Season 3 of this Downrange Transport Premier Series, and he'll go celebrate, and I know that he believe the team championship also to KJD2, so obviously they got a lot to celebrate down there, and what was a successful season there. So, man, big shout out to those guys. Let's see if Tuckness wants to talk here. He might be there with us. Tuckness, you got a copy? Yeah, he's probably putting his little one to bed, so we'll let him go. All right. Well, unfortunate there, but unfortunate for Tuckness and for Miles. Feel bad for those guys, but in the end, there are going to be one champion. And unfortunately, there's times in life that you'll make good decisions. There's times in life you'll make bad decisions. And, in life, there's those really bad decisions that turn you into an even better person when it's over with and a better racer. So it's unfortunate for those guys, but for obviously Brison, great season, and for Miles, great season, for Tuckness, great season, all those guys, everybody a great season here. Is obviously a great way to finish it off with multiple races with only the one caution at the break, and obviously nothing for these guys to hang their head over. So it's been a lot of fun to be a part of, and cannot wait for August 14th and the Clash, as we'll be back for season number 4 of the Premier Series presented by Mr. Radiator. So should be fun. So thanks to, again, Downrange Transport for sponsoring the series the last couple of seasons. Thanks to GLSR and the admins for Sean Peach and those guys for allowing me to be a part of this. And we'll come back here for season number 4 in August. So let's head out. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night. We'll see you actually in a week. Enjoy your 4th of July holiday, and enjoy your family time. And remember the reason for, of course, the 4th of July and stuff, and for those who are responsible for allowing us to be able to celebrate this. Of course, those that fight for this country and stuff. So remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya.
copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.